Running a Fever, episode 36, Mistakes.
Okay, welcome to Running a Fever. It's the podcast about fitness, diet, and medicine. All the aspects of health you need to live a long life. And if you love your life enough to make it last as long as possible, then you're probably in the right place. Now, I'm not going to give you expert advice. I'm only going to share my journey, my mistakes, my successes, my failures, and everything in between. And together, we're going to get where we're going because we have the determination to do so. It's really cold today. Rained a lot the last couple of days. It's been warm. It's been crazy weather. Crazy weather. Now, speaking of mistakes, I want to talk a little bit about a mistake that I've been making, and probably if you're interested in losing weight, this is very important to know. So I cut down to a fairly severe level of caloric intake. I've been eating up to last week, about 600 calories a day. It's worked really well as far as losing weight. I've lost 41 pounds at this point in about 6 weeks, almost 7 weeks. And it was working really well. I was eating 3 meals a day, even though they were small meals. Like I'd have an apple, sometimes half an apple, sometimes a can of tuna or sardines with a little cocktail sauce or something. That's been working good, and I kind of wanted to keep doing that, but I wanted to ramp up. I've been talking a little bit about this because I want to make sure that I can keep doing this for a long, extended, unlimited period of time in terms of maintaining my weight. So I went to the doctor today because I was having some problems last week. Let's just say I was not feeling myself. And I went to a medical professional, actually a physician's assistant, which you can just walk in and see. And I told her the symptoms and I told her what was going on. I told her what the changes that have been going on, and she was there to possibly adjust some medication that I'm taking just if needed. So when she heard about my intake level of calories, she told me that was extremely low. In fact, she said someone of my size should have a minimum of 1,200 calories per day. And that does not include exercise. More than likely, it would be recommended at 1,500 calories per day. So pretty serious. Not only that, but it was affecting my medication. The medication that I'm taking relies on, it requires a certain amount of protein in order to do what it's supposed to do. And so by cutting myself back that much, I was keeping the medication from working the way it should. So this is very important. This could be a serious impact on your health if you don't do this right. And I'm fortunate that I got this far. It was only a minor inconvenience, really. Important to know. Now, what am I going to do from here on out? Because I'm really serious about losing weight, and I'm really serious about my health. I want to be healthy, and part of it is losing weight, but part of it is getting the nutrition I need. One of the things she mentioned was a supplement. She asked me if I was taking a supplement, and she said that it had an impact on how things were going. I probably should be taking more. I'm just taking vitamin C, that's it. Should probably be taking multivitamin or something like that. I'm set up to go in and see a dietitian, nutritionist, some professional of that order next week. Well, there's no scheduled visit, but I'm going to either contact them or they will contact me, and I will probably go in pretty soon to do that. In the meantime, over the weekend, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the car. It's really cold. It's 32 degrees on the thermometer. What I have been doing the last few days, and I feel a lot better, to be honest, the problem that I had last week is not happening anymore. So my medication's obviously working better with the diet that I've had over the last few days. And what I've done is I've increased my intake to about between 800 and 1,000 calories per day. And of course, I'm focusing on protein. It's also raining a little bit out here, but not much. Not worried about it. I've been lucky for these last 4 months or so. Let's see, December, January, February, 3 months. 3 months and change that I have not had pouring rain, but I tell you what, I've got a new weapon against that. I have, as of this weekend, a treadmill. And I don't want to use the treadmill, but it's there in case I need to. So if weather gets really bad, I was thinking today, well, what do you do when it is this cold? And of course, I've forgotten my gloves and left them in the car. What do you do when it is this cold and it is raining? Well, you go out and work out. You do your run. But it can get too cold such that it's dangerous, where you can get frostbite and other things. So you want to be careful and just pay attention to those things. I don't have a lot of details, but I know that these can be problems. So just be careful. Today it's not too bad. I've been out in colder weather. It's just a little bit of rain so far, and we're only walking a short distance. If I was walking as long as I used to, at 2.5 miles in an hour or 55 minutes, I would have brought out the light headlamp, of course. And today, even though it's completely overcast, the walk is so short that I'm pretty sure I won't need it. Ramped up my calories and also found some foods that I could eat. And, they may not be the healthiest of foods, but they can fit into a diet, even a 600 calorie diet. Amazingly, because I get into this mode where I think, well, if I want pizza, I'm going to have to go to Pizza Hut and get whatever the daily deal is, and it's probably a large, and go home and eat the whole thing. You may think that's a lot, but for me, I can eat a whole pizza and just be fine. I won't be sick or anything, which is amazing in itself, but I don't need to. I don't need to, because I'm learning that it's all about enjoying the flavor, and I need to get away from eating as a habit. Anyway, a little bit of off topic there. Single pizzas that you can get in the frozen section of your supermarket. I found a couple. French bread pizza that's 380 calories per serving, and it's reasonably, for a normal person, not necessarily for my old self, but for a normal person, that would be a fine amount of pizza. It's a little, they come in a package. There's also kind of like, it's about the size of a Pizza Hut personal pan pizza from Red Baron, and they have 2 of those in a package, and those are 400 calories each. Talking about pepperoni, of course, because that's my favorite. And I've been eating tacos. Taco shell is 69 calories. Ground chicken. Man, I looked this up before, but I'm not sure. I'm just kind of guessing that quarter pound is like 100 calories, maybe 150, I don't know. Salsa, 5 calories a tablespoon. So 2 tacos, 2 tablespoons. Tomatoes, practically nothing. Peppers, practically nothing. And cheese, gotta have cheese, but I'm using it very sparingly, and I'm using a very tasty cheese that is got a lot of flavor. So I'm using at least half of what I used to put on of the not so flavorful, mild Longhorn style Colby cheese that you get a half pound or a pound at a time in the grocery store. So I'm gonna have a quarter pound of meat probably. Need to look that up, and I will. I'm probably gonna provide a sort of calorie guide, because I need one to just put on my refrigerator or somewhere in my kitchen. And so I can say, and I've memorized some of this, but you can have that 2 taco meal for less than 600 calories probably. Again, I don't know exactly on the meat, so maybe a little more, a little less. So 600 calories, and then I can have another 600 calories. I need to have another 600 calories, so I can easily do that with breakfast of a couple sausage patties and a lunch of probably tamales, which I've been eating, but I don't know how much they are. Had one for lunch today, had two for lunch the day before. But, I can eat the foods I love. And that's the important thing about dieting, I'm telling you. Because for years, I've seen these diet comes out, and they would list all the things you can't eat. Here are the things you cannot eat. No sugar, no meat, no dairy, no vegetables. You can only eat dirt, and then only a little bit. But that's not a diet. A diet is not made up of things you don't eat. A diet is made up of things you do eat. And there are certain foods that I can't really do without in the long term. So, and tacos and pizza are two of them. I probably should not eat those every night. I like a baked potato, and how I used to eat it was a whole baked potato, and they make them pretty large in the grocery store, and probably most of a cup of sour cream, quarter pound or more of cheese, probably at least half a stick of butter, bacon, don't forget the bacon bits, bacon pieces. Man, that's good. I don't know, I'm just guessing that's probably 1,000 calories. It's a lot. But why do I have to eat so much? Why do I need so much? If I don't eat it fast, then I will get full and feel full. And if I just enjoy the flavor of it, I don't need a lot. I just need enough to enjoy the flavor of it. In Japan, where I spent 2 years of my life, the main food, the main sustenance is rice. Rice at every meal. Rice for breakfast. Rice for lunch. Rice for supper. And that's a lot of starch. Howdy. It seems like a lot of calories probably, but I don't know. I didn't see too many overweight people, natives, or Japanese people, people who lived there, who grew up there, so forth. I did not see many of them who were overweight. But that's not all they eat. That's just the main bulk of what they eat. They have all kinds of great flavoring, and they have all kinds of meat that's cooked in some, a variety of ways. They have a meat that you swirl in a wok full of boiling water. It's really thinly sliced. And you just take your chopsticks while you're sitting at the table and you swirl it in the water, and it cooks because it's so thin because the water's boiling. That's just one example. Japanese food isn't just sushi, so there's a lot of variety in their diet, but that meat, that piece of meat is flavoring. They enjoy the flavor of it to make their rice more interesting. And they have a great selection of foods. Here in the United States, we like our big slabs of steak, fried chicken. It's all about eating a lot of meat, right? And that's just not how things work over there. Not really any cows to speak of. This weekend I got a different manner of workout. I was moving some furniture, and so I had to load up a 6x12 trailer full of furniture, shelves and the treadmill and a big heavy table that was made out of a piano, and all my old musical amps and stuff with their heavy speaker magnets in them. And I had one guy helping me, and I got quite a workout. And I've been noticing, I always thought that the my watch was recording fewer calories than I burned. But in fact, the last 3 days or so, it's been over 2,000 calories, like 2,200 calories or more. And so I'm going to start tracking that as well. Now, I know it's not completely accurate, and I'm going to look and see if I probably need to enter my weight and so forth. I wanted to work out on Monday because I've been doing a kind of an early week, late week thing, and I didn't because I had to unload that day. So I loaded up Saturday and I unloaded Monday. And Sunday I was mostly driving, but I still burned more than 2,000 calories. And this is probably why they're saying I need at least 1,200 calories and I still should be able to lose weight. Mathematically, it makes sense. But I also read an article, which I'll provide a link in the show notes, that talked about the standard thing you hear about 1 pound of fat being worth 3,500 calories, right? So if you decrease your intake by 500 calories, you lose a pound a week. Now, this article goes into saying that it's really a lot more complicated than that, which kind of makes sense. I mean, first of all, is it purely fat that you're burning? Is it exactly 3,500 calories per pound? And what about metabolism? How does that affect things? Can you do more with less if you have a slow metabolism, etc.? So anyway, that's an interesting article. There's a lot more things, and I'm just getting into these complications, basically. As you go over time, you learn, and this is the part of my journey. I'm learning, and I'm getting into more of an intermediate health person, right? I'm trying to step into that intermediate stage where I have enough knowledge to be dangerous, right? Getting the information from a nutritionist, reading this article and others like it, trying to figure out. I also have, talked about this before, but a guy at work who's also lost 40 something pounds. He goes in and he weighs in twice a week, and also they do an analysis. You step on this plate that's barefooted, and it runs electricity through your body, and from that it determines how much muscle you have, how much water, how much fat, etc. And I talked about going to another place to do this. I think there's probably a consumer version of that I can just have in my home, which would be awesome. More stats. I love stats. I love organization and stuff like that. So measurement, etc. So I got that going on. I got the nutritionist. I got my medical help. And this is why my show is now focused in 3 different areas, not just exercise, not just having a fever about running, but we're talking about fitness, we're talking about diet, and we're talking about medicine, because all are very important to your overall health and to your longevity. And so I'm going to be focusing on all of those areas, and I'm going to try to put more information in here so that we both can benefit as we try to get fit and try to get healthy and try to live as long as we can, because we love our lives. We love our lives. So that's what's going on this week. The workout went fine as usual. I think I'm probably ready to go to 3 times a week and stay at 3 times a week probably for the rest of the year. I also want to put in some strength training. That's going to be a thing that's on the list. And I need to do that because in all likelihood I have lost muscle mass during this process, especially since I've been undernourished, making a mistake about how much I've cut out of my diet. So long and the short of it is we learned a lot this week, and we had another successful workout. And like I say, every day that you get out there and do another one is a successful day. It's a successful day. We're always better off for that additional workout as long as it's in sufficient moderation. So I hope that was useful to you, and I'm going to keep the fever. You keep the fever, runningaFever.com, and I will talk to you next time.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.